With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, quarterback, Southern California.
All right. I know you like him and you think he's going to be good.
I think he's going to be very good,
Do you think he's elite level QB in the NFL?
I was not a huge Trevor Lawrence guy. And people said Trevor Lawrence was generational. I told Suke, I think he's really good at everything. He's not great at anything. I liked Joe Burrow better in terms of guys that have come out in recent years. Beyond that, Caleb Williams is a fantastic quarterback prospect. They don't get much better than him. He has not thrown an interception on 3rd and 4th down in his entire USC career. In the red zone for his entire college career, he's had 61 touchdowns and 1 interception. That 1 interception was a miscommunication on a back shoulder throw to Jordan Addison. Other than that, he has no interceptions in the red zone in his career. You do worry about the fumbles in his career, 33 fumbles, 16 last year. But when you look at Caleb Williams, when was the last time, probably Trevor Lawrence, that a year ago we went, this is the guy that's going to be number 1 next year? And that's what we were saying. Last year, we all said Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 pick last year. And through his ups and downs at USC, we go through an entire year. There was never a debate. He was minus 800 or something to be the number 1 pick this time last year. It never dipped below minus 500, 600. He's been the guy, and for very good reason.
Are the Bears back? Is he that good?
Here's the thing. The Bears won, I believe, 7 games last year. They have a lot of draft capital. If you just give them an average quarterback with the upgrades they made this offseason, they could very easily, as Suke pointed out earlier in the show, they could very easily be this year's Texans. A Super Bowl contender? No. A playoff team? Absolutely. In fact, I don't necessarily think that's a bad bet if you love Caleb Williams to put a little cash on Bears to make the playoffs. I don't know what it is, but I do think this team, if they get average quarterback play, they're not that far away. I'm worried about the Vikings. The Packers are good, but Jordan Love now has film, and teams are going to watch him and start taking away some of what he does, and it's going to get harder for him. So the runway is there in the NFC North, potentially, for the Bears to be a wild card type of team, or a wild card round type of team.
And the one knock on Williams is that he plays off schedule and that he kind of runs around. And in Chicago, with their new OC, Shane Waldron, and you look at kind of his background, he wants to run a Shanahan-McVay type system, which is predicated on run the ball, play action pass, get the ball out of your hands. And you look at what they've built. They've got a rebuilt offensive line. They have 2 very good receivers. They went out and got DeAndre Swift. They have a good tight end and
Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet, the kid out of Notre Dame. So you look at their offense, and much like what they did with C.J. Stroud, this is going to be run the ball, play action, get the ball out of your hands, a quarterback-friendly system. It is set up for Caleb Williams to maybe be protected from the one thing that people want to pick him apart. I do. I think this could be a really, really good fit in Chicago. I think they're going to surprise some people and be this. That's what I think they're the Houston Texans. This to me is a 10 or 11 win team if Williams is anywhere near what we think he can be.
And the difference right now between them and the next 2 teams picking, the Washington Commanders and the New England Patriots, who are very likely to also take quarterbacks, what we've seen the last few years is when you build the infrastructure and then insert the quarterback, those guys often have quite a bit of success. And the Bears should be commended for stockpiling draft capital, getting themselves in a position to get this type of pick. And now you look at their weapons, it looks like a fantasy football lineup. It's DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet. Those are weapons,
you got your right tackle. You had an offensive lineman to this group, maybe another receiver if they want to go down that road. I think they're going to spend that next pick if they don't trade down on another O-lineman. Telling you, this thing is built up to be good right now. And I know people are like, oh, it's the Bears. And all of a sudden we love to hate on Caleb Williams. This is a really good spot.
And we throw around generational too often, just in the sense that generation literally means once in a generation. That can't be once every 3 years. But I do think Caleb Williams is once in a cycle, in a 4-year cycle. He is a once in a 4-year cycle quarterback. And I do think those guys sometimes miss. But there's a lot to like about Caleb Williams, and there's a reason that through all of this, even when people love to make up rumors that there are red flags and there are question marks, the biggest hit on him is that he cried and he paints his nails. The dude's a really good, and the reason for that is when you watch the film, there's not a lot to poke holes in. You have to do the painted nails thing because you can't really criticize much else. He's a very complete player. And the other thing I like about him that people don't realize, he actually grew up playing running back and linebacker. He can take a hit. So he's not the biggest dude in the world at 6'1", 215, and he doesn't always just want to deliver that shot, but he is used to physical football and delivering and taking hits, and I do think that will help him and serve him well in the league when we compare him to a guy like Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I've seen several interviews with him, and he seems really sharp. Like there at some point, maybe during the Heisman season, he kind of got this reputation of being a little, I don't know, maybe a diva of sorts, but everything I've seen with him, he's kind of punted that right out the front door. Like, it doesn't seem like that sticks to him, and he's been, because wasn't there always talk too that he wasn't even going to play in Chicago, and his dad's involved, and it's just a mess. He's been great.
But again,
what I've seen,
in my opinion, we have to do the part that you hate about the draft. We have to have narratives about guys, right? We have to say this guy could be a bust. There wasn't much to say on film, so it became a character thing because there was nothing else. There was no, man, he's really bad on third down. He wasn't. He never threw a pick on third and fourth down in his USC career. You can't say he's bad in the red zone. He's phenomenal in the red zone. You can't say he doesn't have a big arm. So it had to be, and the biggest knock I've heard on him is he wants to be a brand. Tom Brady didn't want to be a brand? I mean, who cares? Mannings aren't a brand?
My only knock on him is I don't love how much he plays off schedule, and some of that may be because at USC and that line, and it just maybe he had to be, and he tried to be the hero in every play. That's my knock on him. But I will say that, and I hate this comparison because you're talking about one of the best to ever do it, his off-platform stuff to me is the only person that I've seen, and again, it's only been 5 or 6 years, it's the only person that I would say compares to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best off-platform, but I mean platform is 3, 5-step, 7-step, back foot into the ground throw. I'm talking about where you see the baseball style, the sidearmed, the feet aren't good. No one does it better than Mahomes other than Caleb Williams.